Hello and welcome to the Scare Value Podcast. This is Bryan recording on a different mic in a different room from the future relative to when we recorded the podcast. So everything's going to sound a little different when the actual podcast starts in a minute. The reason I have to record this opening is that there's a topic that comes up at the end of this episode, which, even though we recorded it very recently, just on Sunday, the contents of it are a tad out of date because things I predicted went very differently. I've decided to leave the rant in because I enjoy doing it so much. But know that, we're aware that the non-horror-related part of this podcast is woefully out of date just 3 days after we recorded it. So enjoy the episode.
Listen to me, Briggs. Think for a minute. Do you suppose an army of guys in plastic suits show up every time a meteor falls?
Shoot him. That's a direct order.
How do you think they got here so quick? How did they even know when to come?
Shoot, damn it, shoot!
I'll tell you how. That meteor is man-made. It's some kind of a germ warfare test. They fucked up.
Possible Cool Guy Club nominee, Bryan Flagg.
Bryan Flagg?
That's his name in the movie you watched, The Blob.
No, it wasn't. It was Johnny Drama's brother.
No, it's Johnny Drama.
No, I kept calling him Johnny Drama's brother throughout the whole movie, so he's Johnny Drama's brother.
Matt Dillon had already starred in The Outsiders and was a star by the time
that was the same guy.
This was his little brother.
There's no way that was the same guy.
Because you thought he was too cool?
From There's Something About Mary. No, Johnny Drama's way cooler than Matt Dillon.
There's Something About Mary would have only been like 7 years after this. You think he got that old?
Maybe. I don't know how things age. Did you see how old the people were in this movie, maybe? Or not? I couldn't tell if their ages. They were definitely products of 80s film.
Also, just real quick before I introduce our guest, yes, I do think that the scientists will show up every time a meteor hits the Earth. I do think that's true.
Every movie I've seen is true.
Not movies. I think in real life that would happen.
No.
Yeah.
In real life?
If a meteor fell into a small town, I think that the scientists are coming.
What about that one that hit that lady in the head? I don't remember a scientist coming.
We've talked before about how you open up stories with references that only you know. But you act like they're just common sense. Like, remember how John Wilkes Booth shot Abraham Lincoln? Like, yeah, that we all know. Remember how that lady got hit in the head by a meteorite? It's not something everybody walks around with in their pocket.
Did you know that John Wilkes Booth's brother saved Abraham Lincoln's son?
Mark's here with us.
Right? You know what I'm talking about, Mark. The meteorite that hit the lady on the head? She was just minding her own business in her house, and it crashed through a roof and bonked her. She was okay.
I remember that happening to Jake Gyllenhaal in a movie.
See? Did the scientist show up?
Oh, no, it was a satellite.
I bet the scientist showed up.
Well, that's the real question, I guess.
Depends.
Oh, no, it was
a rabbit suit guy.
It was a single of the song "Satellite" by Dave Matthews Band.
No, it was the jet plane engine that fell off, and that's where the rabbit came from.
Yes.
And Patrick Swayze was a child molester.
What?
In that movie.
Oh, Donnie Darko. Okay.
Not in real life. Unless he's on that Epstein list. I don't know. I haven't seen it.
You're not seeing it either, even what they're giving you, so it doesn't even matter. This is a remake of a 1958 movie starring Steve McQueen, of all people. And Pete doesn't know which one he saw, and I'm going to guess he still doesn't know which one he saw the first time.
Well, I watched this movie with Mark.
Yeah.
And I spent the whole time.
Another movie date I wasn't invited to.
Yeah, I know. We didn't go out to eat afterwards. That's something that I do with Ken only. What was I going to say? So while we were watching it, my mom called. And I don't remember why she called, but...
David Adams.
Was it to clown you about your Nick Cage knowledge? Because that happened.
No, which was unfair, and I didn't like it. I showed Mark, my mother, you all know. But out of nowhere, my mother sent me Nicolas Cage news via text, which I appreciate because I like Nicolas Cage and I like news, and I enjoy that I've infected other people with this lust for knowledge. But anyway, she texted me that, and I'm like, I already know about his pyramid in New Orleans. In fact, I found out more stuff about that. You know, he got that pyramid, and he bought the house because a psychic told him he needed to do it to recharge his career. That was why he bought the... But anyway, she sent me that, and then I gave her a bunch of facts, and I'm like, follow me for more knick-knack facts. And she was like, I should probably follow Kitty because she beat you in that Nick Cage Jeopardy, which I don't think I really lost. I don't remember how that went, but...
Well, Pete... You did lose, but there was a mistake on my part during the game.
I knew it.
I got an actor wrong in one of the movies. Do I think it would have changed the outcome? No, I don't. But we'll test it right now because, Pete, I'm willing to give you
I already won.
all the points you need to play in Final Jeopardy if you can get it right this time.
What was the Final Jeopardy question?
In coming attractions, movies where Nick Cage has sex,
Nope.
I said that he starred in a movie with Kevin Kline, but it was actually Judge Reinhold in a mustache. If you can name that movie, you can get back to enough positive points for Final Jeopardy.
Where's my phone? So
And time's up. The movie was Zandali. I knew it didn't make any difference if I got the actor right. Exactly. You were never going to get it. If you had your phone, we would have sat here for 4 hours.
You know what? I didn't lose. I had more Nick Cage knowledge than anybody alive, even Nick Cage. It was math. Math was the one that did me in.
And we're done with Nick Cage for this episode.
All right, what are we here for? What are we talking about?
The Blob 1988 remake.
Oh, yeah. My mom thinks I saw the original with Steve McQueen. I don't know.
I think that's right. I think that's probably
But
right. We
see-
talked about the timeline on it. I think that's probably right.
But here's the thing. Not
No,
just
this was the Blob.
he got eaten by the thing. The rest of the Fantastic Four are sad. They're not even the terrific three now. What's a sad word that starts with T?
Trump.
They're the Trump three now. Ooh.
Terrible?
Yeah, they're the terrible three. I think that was a bad guy team in one of the Superman cartoons from a while ago.
Are we ever going to get this on topic today, or are you just going to keep this stream of nonsense going?
You might be thinking of the Sinister Six from Spider-Man.
No, I know who the Sinister Six are.
Name them, Pete.
There's Crowbird guy. There's Electricity Lady. Who's the Eel Man? He fell into some eels and he got electrocuted.
That was the Electricity Lady.
Dr. Octopus. Dr. Octavius Octopus. And who else? Oh, there's the Rhino guy, Paul Giamatti. There's Morpheus, the Dream Lord. They're played by Lowell.
That's Sandman.
Yeah,
Lowell played Sandman, not Morpheus.
that's the Sandman.
And Morpheus is not even the right name.
But he's the Sandman.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
All right. Anyway, while we were watching this movie, try to stay on subject here. Jesus Christ. Anyway, while we and Mark were watching this movie, we get to the very end where they're fighting the Blob in the city, and I'm pretty sure I saw this version of it because I remember the color, but everything else I remember in black and white.
First one was in color as well. I looked it up.
Well, shit. You sure that wasn't black and white? Because I remember this movie in black and white.
No, you're thinking of the beginning of Night of the Creeps.
Maybe his TV when he was a kid was only in black and white still.
That's possible too. You're giving him a lot to think about, so hopefully he'll stay quiet for a while because he's really ramrodded this podcast in the first 5 minutes. There's been another remake of this stuck in development hell since 2009, but there was an update last year, so maybe we'll get another Blob.
I actually was going to save that, but I heard a rumor that you know who's supposed to
He
be
didn't
in
stay
this
quiet.
remake of the Blob? Can you guess?
Oh, I hope it's not Nicolas Cage.
It is Nicolas Cage. The director attached to it was the guy who did Con Air and other stuff.
Simon West.
Sure. But
See, yeah, you have the most Nick Cage knowledge, you said?
what does Simon West have to do with Nicolas Cage?
And-
Anyway, Nicolas Cage might be in that remake. It has been stuck in development hell. I'm surprised you knew something about movies, Brian. But it has been stuck in development hell for a long time, Mark.
It's unfortunate.
This was released on August 5th, 1988. You were 9, I was 8. How old were you, Mark?
3.
Damn. Cradle robber.
How old was I?
9.
How old was Sam?
How old is he now?
I don't know.
Negative
A lot.
36 years.
He might be 10. All right. Yeah, so this movie was all right. Anyway.
Well, I was going to
Nicolas
try to
Cage-
guess whether you liked it or not, because sometimes you can get it right because practical effects, the 80s aesthetics, things he likes. But sometimes just like the most random thing will make him angry and he won't like the movie. The font used on the title sequence, a misspelling in the credits. So you never know what it's going to be. It's usually credit related, but you never know what it's going to be. But
Sometimes it's time based.
sometimes it is time based.
It is time-based a lot. This one, I'd like to say, like 94 minutes. That's a nice, tight little movie.
4 minutes too long, but
4
you
minutes too long,
and he
but-
can't skip the credits, so we know that that's trouble.
Yeah, it's always trouble.
There's a sad word that starts with T.
Trouble? The Trouble Three?
The troublesome 3.
The
tiresome
Troubled Three. Because they're upset that the thing got eaten by the
their
Blob.
superpowers. They all commit suicide. we have the cutter. We have
The Invisible Woman to show you where the veins are.
the autoerotic asphyxiast.
What is it? You follow the tracks. You don't cut across them. Is that the rule?
All I know is that you do it because it feels so good when you stop. I'm about function, not form.
Wait, I give up.
All right. This movie was fairly well received, but didn't do very well at the box office.
I see why.
I don't know why. It stars Kevin Dillon, leader of Entourage fame,
Just off of his Outsiders film.
and Shawnee Smith from the Saw franchise, which, if you've seen the Saw franchise, watching her be a cheerleader is very strange. Like just a small town cheerleader with a smile and just like a regular girl, because she's like a psychopath. And I've only ever seen her in the Saw movies, so I just expect her to be a psychopath. So I didn't trust her the entire movie.
I didn't get that far in the Saw franchise.
Which one was she?
She's his assistant who basically takes over the movies.
Not the Saw. I've never seen that.
She was the cheerleader. She's the main girl. Why would I start with lower tier people?
That was a cheerleader?
It was the girl that was in the whole movie, pretty much.
She was in the Saw?
That's what he was saying. Yeah.
Interesting.
While you were not paying attention.
I was paying attention. I thought she was Buffy the Vampire Slayer because that's who she looked like a lot.
Well, she did take his leather jacket and steal the look of it. Or invent the look, I guess.
Which Buffy do you think she looked like?
The Buffy, Sarah Michelle Gellar.
You thought this was 1988 Sarah Michelle Gellar.
I didn't think it was Sarah Michelle Gellar.
You don't know that. We did this last time. He thought that it was Xena Warrior Princess.
I told Mark that this was a young Sarah Michelle Gellar.
We did think Kevin Dillon was Matthew Dillon. So.
He is. I don't believe that. You'd think I would have paid more attention in the credits, but I didn't.
We had a debate about who was in Wild Things with Denise Richards and Nev Campbell.
Oh, yeah, we were going to ask you.
It was Matt Dillon.
Yeah, okay.
No, it was Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, his wiener was in it too.
Okay, so they were both in it. Interesting.
Both Kevin Bacon and his wiener, yeah. 0 degrees of separation on those two.
All right. Yeah.
Other people you may recognize are Jeffrey DeMunn from The Walking Dead. He plays the sheriff.
Mark called that one.
And ironically, Candy Clark, who plays the original Buffy mom in the Buffy movie.
Who was she?
I don't know who she was. I didn't pay attention to
There
who
were
she
a
was.
lot of people who looked
She might
like
have been
other
the-
people.
She might have been the waitress.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Shit, that movie. I will say this movie went harder than expected.
Just would love to get through my introduction.
You're still on the introduction? Okay.
Yeah, that's how we do it. 150 episodes. 150 episodes. This is like 151. This is literally episode 151, not counting bonus episodes. Appearing in small roles are horror legend Bill Moseley, who Pete knows best as Chop Top in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
Was that the deputy?
No, I don't think so. Maybe. I don't have this written down. Erica Aliniak, who you know from Stripping with Her Eyes Closed and Under Siege.
Yeah.
And Eraserhead himself, Jack Nance, who I never saw in the movie, but I was told was in it.
What?
I wasn't looking that hard.
If I had known, I would have paid more attention.
The Blob was directed by Master of Horror, Chuck Russell. And if anyone could possibly remember my objection to that in the Witchboard trailer, he's not a Master of Horror. I need some clarification on why he gets that designation.
He's a steak dinner.
He also co-wrote the screenplay with Frank Darabont, who previously worked with him on A Nightmare on Elm Street 3 and would go on to make The Shawshank Redemption, The Mist, and The Walking Dead.
I recognize that name.
He's, Shawshank Redemption is probably his biggest thing, but he also did The Green Mile. You saw all of those movies.
I didn't like The Green Mile.
No, nobody did. People pretend to because it's prestige.
I didn't like the book either. It's that Tom Hanks.
I read that book.
Me
it's
too.
It's one of the famous 18.
I read that in serial format.
I bought it in a collected format, but I did read it from beginning to end. It was one of the books where I read it and I was like, what's the point of books? This wasn't that good.
What happens if we name all 18 books that you have read? Do you like ascend to a higher dimension or something?
I think we probably have at this point. And there aren't more. There aren't any surprises coming. That's all I read.
You didn't read something and forget about it.
No, because how could you? I'm not pushing anything out because I don't have anything new to put in. The guy who played Reverend Meeker is an interesting guy. His name is Del Close. And in addition to being an actor and a writer, he was one of the most important people in the rise of improv comedy. Here's just a few of the students of Del Close. Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis, John Belushi, John Candy, Stephen Colbert, Chris Farley, Tina Fey, Amy Poehler, Bob Odenkirk, George Wendt, Gilda Radner, Tim Meadows, Mike Myers, and Andy Richter. And there's like a ton more.
Wow.
So they all went to Chicago and learned comedy from this guy that played the Reverend in this movie.
Interesting.
It is interesting. That's like, well, I started this off by saying he's an interesting guy.
Hey, there was somebody in this movie who I always think is Bill Murray's dad.
Oh, Brian Doyle Murray? I don't think he's in this movie.
No, but there's somebody. He was the father in, or not the boss.
Oh, I know
in,
who you're talking about.
Yeah, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
That's Brian Doyle Murray.
That's Brian Doyle Murray. Yeah, he was in this movie.
I don't think he was in this movie.
I swear to God.
And the reason I'm going to say that is because I took down the names of the people who I knew and just did a segment on it.
Was it the girl's father? With
No.
No.
He looks like the guy from the Wonder Years.
No, I know who that guy is.
So do I, but who?
He's on an episode of Angel when Angel goes for sensitivity training or whatever. He's secretly a bad guy who's going to try to keep him there, but he doesn't know he's a vampire, so he just gets his ass kicked.
He's in tons of stuff. I've seen him in tons of things.
Well, not anymore because he passed away.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Oh, no.
Poor guy. He'll always live on as, I don't know, a random fairy in Charmed, I think. I'm pretty sure.
That's probably right. If he was on Angel, that's probably right.
I need the remake. He's in this movie, I tell you guys.
I'm telling you he's not, but we'll wait for Pete to do this because we have nothing better to do with
Oh,
our
yeah.
time.
Tell me more about the movie. You said you got to start stuff up. I'm being quiet. I've dialed it down 20 notches.
Who was watching this movie for the first time between the two of you?
I was.
Pete doesn't know. Maybe.
Jack Nance.
Yeah,
Who's he?
Eraserhead.
Okay. Well, he's Bill Murray's father.
All right. This is an 80s movie, so we can begin with our 80s checklist. This movie passes the Minority Report
It did.
because Dr. Meadows is played by a man of color and immediately becomes the bad guy.
I was sad when he turned bad.
I was too, but at least it made sense plot-wise.
He seemed like such a nice man at first.
He did. And I thought, oh, good, there's like somebody that's one of the good things about the script is, there's a good outside force here because he has to deal with these cops that hate him, but there's an outside force that will understand the problem. And then it turns out the other way, and I kind of like that because the cop actually, this deputy always gives him a hard time, kind of like takes a step back and he's like, all right, I'm going to listen. And I was like, that is an unexpected twist. What a twist.
What a twist indeed.
M. Night would be proud.
Did he die, that deputy? I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
I think he got folded in half.
Oh, yeah. I think he got pulled through, though, when they were barricaded in whatever building they were in.
A lot of people died. Like Pete said, this movie goes harder than you expect. Butt shot, I don't think so unless you count the blob jiggling
Oh, I
throughout the
do.
whole movie. Okay, then there
I
was a
counted
butt
that.
shot. And no nudity, which is disappointing,
Except for that blob.
except for the butt.
Did you see all that sweet pink flesh?
All right, let's get through the plot of the blob.
Blob shows up, eats people.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I got
Nailed it,
too.
yeah.
I might
Other
have
people run.
slightly more detail, but
They got their own issues going on, but you know what's great? All those issues go away when the blob shows up.
well, it does have the fastest resolution to a love triangle I've ever seen. Now, the movie Primate came out, and I told Pete one of the things I loved about it, and I did love the movie. One of the things I loved about it was how it spends the first act setting up things that you don't really care about, and then just immediately dismisses them when the monkey goes crazy. Because they set up this love triangle, and I'm sitting there, and they do a bunch of scenes for it, and I was like, I don't care about this love triangle. I just don't care. And then the monkey throws one of them off the building, and I was like, and I don't have to care about it. And that's how the killing starts. And I was like so excited that they chose the way they chose to fool me into thinking they were going to make a movie with a plot instead of just a furry little Jason Voorhees killing people. And I was so happy when he hit the rocks below because I was like, I don't have to ever think about that plot again. This was faster than that.
I don't even know if I had time to develop any kind of opinion one way or another about the romantic triangle that was being built.
It's easy to form the only opinion you need, and that is that the guy that is introduced as the male lead at first, the one who's going to immediately get killed by the blob in like his
football
second
guy?
scene, the football guy, is a perfect 80s leading man because he's dull as a paperweight.
Yeah, but he seemed nice.
Yeah, they're all nice. They're just dull as a paperweight. And then you meet a more dynamic character, Brian Flagg, and you're immediately like, I mean, I hope they end up together. It's like you can't help but root for it because these are two charming, dynamic people. And Paul is like staring at a wall.
Paul the Wall. That's what they called him.
So a meteorite brings a slimy killer blob that grows as it consumes people. It's discovered by a bum who's collecting cans by the river
I missed that.
instead of in town where people drink things. Seems like a poor business model.
Why did Matt Dillon live in the woods?
Matt Dillon did not live in the woods.
Why did Matt Dillon's brother live in the woods?
Kevin Dillon wanted to ride his motorcycle
I know. I'm well aware of his love affair with this motorcycle.
Over-
I think it's a dirt bike.
over a
actually.
jump that does come back.
I'm so glad it paid
It's
off.
so amazing it comes back.
At no point does he have parents or a home. He always goes to the woods. Whenever he runs away, where does he go? Back to the woods.
Well, his brother was in The Outsiders, but he is an outsider.
I think it's the same person. Are we sure that have we ever seen the two of them in the same room at the same time? I didn't think so.
I'm sure I've seen a picture.
I haven't. And with AI these days, who knows?
There was a Soch v. Greaser kind of relationship between Paul and Flag.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
For a couple minutes.
Yeah.
Well, the interesting thing about Flag is that they don't waste any time letting you know he's a good person. And I was like, that's so funny. There is no arc where he just becomes like a more sensitive or caring person. He immediately, like when he takes the bump to the hospital, is like, you're going to be all right, man. And I was like, wait, they're just not even going to pretend that he's a bad guy. It's just that he's misunderstood. That's so funny to me that they did that. But they kind of have to because they kill Paul in that hospital immediately.
Yeah, it was the sheriff and the waitress that.
Well, what I do is I get to that and then you can comment on it.
I don't want to comment on it when you get to it. I already told you the whole plot. The movie was the Blob shows up and eats people, and he eats them cool, in a cool manner. You can stare at your screen, but that's what happens. How long until we get to the waitress dying?
Or is it a hot banner?
I mean, you know what happens early in the movie, so it won't be too long.
I really and truly don't. I remember he rode his goddamn dirt bike in the woods. The hobo shows up, who I really liked. I thought, Mark and I both thought he was collecting cans for the 5-cent deposit, but apparently he was just smashing them with a metal boot that he put on his foot.
Yeah, I think that you could do that back then, that you could return them like that. It wasn't going into machines like we had later. This is 1988. I think you could just return the crushed thing so it was making more space to carry more. I think that was allowed back then.
No, I think he was just a crazy hobo.
No,
who
I
liked
don't
to
think so.
smash cans.
I thought he was just having a good time smashing cans.
I really think that you could do that back in 1988. They didn't need it.
Oh, no, you could. I remember. But I think
Then
he
why
was...
the fuck are we... Why you look at me like I'm making shit up?
Because he was out there smashing them for fun. This wasn't a monetary thing for this hobo.
It's stress relief.
If
How
it
much
was,
coffee did you have today? Too
not
much?
enough.
We never did find the dog.
No, we did. And it's disturbing because at the end, they don't say the American Humane Society made sure no animals were harmed.
That's unfortunate.
Well, we're introduced to Paul, a football player who is boring as shit and has a spotlight stolen in every scene he's in immediately. Like a bird flies by in the background and you're just like, what's going on back there?
Did you see how cool that bird was?
And he asks out the cheerleader Meg, who for some reason says yes, which makes no sense because he's dull as a box of rocks. And they literally run into the bum and take him to the hospital. And that's where they run into Bryan Flag. And Bryan Flag does a cool thing when he gets in the car and he just puts his arm right around her. And I was like, that's pretty funny.
That was creepy. That's a creeper. A level 2 creeper.
I liked it.
You don't put your arm around people. That's an invasion of personal space.
Well, if you don't like the love triangle, you don't have to worry. Because Paul is consumed by the blob immediately. In such a fashion where I was like, oh, this would be a neat scene. They can't really kill him. Oh, he's dead.
Oh, yeah. Well, the hobo, first off, your synopsis is terrible.
So now you want me to go back?
Yes, you got to back up because the hobo, when he got hit by the car, he also had a blob hand. His hand was part blob. It wasn't just like, oh, I got hit by a car and need to go to the hospital. It's like, look at this giant thing on me.
And then it eats his lower half.
That was
Which
cool.
it doesn't do to anybody else, but it was too small then. It was too small to get them all.
It kills people in all different ways, and I'm here for it.
Speaking of killing people in different ways, the next scene after the hospital where he kills what we thought was our main character, we see a sex pest attempting to sexually assault his date.
That was awesome. I mean, not that.
Whoa. So I guess now in scene 2 with the blob, we're rooting for the blob.
Yes, that is exactly where we went, and I loved it.
It has.
I just kind of felt bad for the girl. She didn't do anything wrong.
Well,
She made bad choices.
She gets blobbed, and she like deflates from the outside in, and it was awesome.
All of the kills were great. All of the this is why I keep.
You want to get this? You want to get to great kills? The next scene, a blob in a sink pulls a man through the sink.
That was
The first act of this movie, unlike Primate, where it's setting up stuff that's not going to really do. This movie's setting stuff too, but it's also every other scene just killing people in awesome. I could have watched the entire 90 minutes be just this small town being affected by this blob.
I was annoyed when they brought in the government agency and I had to listen to plot and people tell me why things were happening. I didn't care. There's a blob. I get it. The blob eats people.
They were lying anyway.
Yeah, right. They were wasting our time. That's what they were doing. What was I going to say? Blob. Hey, real quick. After Jack Nance saw the hobo get eaten in the hospital and then it eats her boyfriend and she just like goes home, how come no one else said, oh yeah, there was a blob that ate people in this hospital? Did the blob eat everybody or did the rest of them just like go home? Because like, well, that was weird.
I don't know.
Me neither.
I don't have that information for you.
That really bothered me because no one believed her. They're like, you're crazy. But the doctor saw the hobo get dissolved.
Sure.
And doesn't she pull the dude's arm out of the
Yes.
thing? Like, is
Yeah.
this evidence? Of,
And then the blob walked away. Well, blobbed away. It didn't eat her, which was peculiar.
she knew she was the main character.
Not like that Paul guy.
Oh, Meg is the name of the cheerleader.
I thought it was
Shawnee
Egg.
Smith. Okay. You don't have to say everything you think.
I think I do. I don't know how to stop.
Well, Bryan and Meg, who are Family Guy characters, now that I think about it, they hide in a freezer and learn that the cold is the natural enemy of the blob. Well, they don't really learn it because they don't remember it for a long time.
No, they kept shooting fire at it
They did shoot fire at it.
multiple times.
Now, those little pieces the blob leaves behind are collected by the Reverend Meeker, the comedy legend, till close. And we don't see him again until the end credits, but well, we do. We see him popping around town, like doing stuff, but he's not really important to the plot until the end, until right before the end credits.
Yeah, and then we also saw him running around on fire at one point, the opposite of what
Yeah, we
kills
see
the
him burned
blob.
in the end.
Yeah, we see him a lot, just not a lot of ice in this movie. Hey, where did this movie take place?
I don't know. People.
Well, we're trying to figure it out because it looks like Texas, or Oklahoma, but there's
Do you think that because there's a sheriff?
Yeah, and they had Southern accents, and they talked with Southern accents. And the guy from the sheriff from The Walking Dead, he talks like he talks now, like old. He's got old man talk.
This is where they set up the sheriff and the waitress, who have a doomed romance that lasts all of one glance.
I liked it.
It's a weird choice in a way because the sheriff is presented as a likable guy, but then he immediately is like, "Oh, Bryan, I heard you turned 18. We're gonna fucking fry you." And I'm like, "But Bryan isn't a bad guy, so it's like, no, I don't like you because you've made your sheriff both likable and unlikable in the same time, and it's a very strange choice."
Feel that way with a lot of the characters.
Who?
That cheerleader, I didn't like her.
No, of course not.
Well, I didn't like Matt Damon that much because
Matt Damon's not even close to relevant.
he was talking about them apples and how smart he was.
They won a screenplay award for that. For, do you like apples? And then somebody responding, yeah.
And then
He's in a fucking Harvard bar. And the Harvard man is asked, do you like apples? And his reply is, yeah. What?
yeah.
What would he have done if he said, no, I don't really like apples?
Then his bit would have been ruined. And he turns to the next Harvard guy and goes like, "Hey, do you like apples?" Until he
He
gets
probably could have just followed up with the same line either way, I guess. His response to "I feel like apples
you
doesn't
could.
matter."
That's an Affleck line. And I know it's an Affleck line because he wrote Argo, fuck yourself.
that Ben Affleck. I see why he wins those
That won
awards.
Best Picture. That was the best movie of the year. Argo, fuck yourself.
So it wasn't Matt Damon. It was Johnny Drama.
Yeah, look, you got it.
He
Almost
was-
a half an hour into the podcast, you figured out who he was.
He was presented as somebody who was in love with the bike and lived in the woods, but he turned out to be all right.
Smoke cigarettes.
Yeah, that's bad.
The most frustrating thing about you is that's a pretty good description of the character.
Right.
It's so lazy and thoughtless, but correct. And it annoys me.
The writing for the character or my summation? Of
Your
the
summation of the
character?
character.
There's a random throwaway line near the end of the movie about how his mom's a drunk and his dad, they never knew who he was.
Yeah, I think the character's actually pretty well written. He's got some fun lines throughout the movie, and he's just always like a likable character. It's easy to follow.
I appreciate how angry he is at any kind of authority anywhere. He's like, "Oh, I'm not going with you. I don't trust you."
When he's like, first of all, he's also been arrested so many times he knows his rights, and he's like, "Well, am I arrested because I want a lawyer? If not, I'd like to leave." And then the deputy gets in his face and he licks it.
Oh, that's right.
That was
That's
so
where
awesome.
That's why I asked if he's a nominee for the Cool Guy Club, because that's a cool guy
Oh,
response.
man, that is quite possibly.
And then Pete, he makes that jump with that motorcycle.
And then briefly the helicopter had to give up because it couldn't get across the
I know.
chasm.
I just fucking loved that they took this character who normally would be, the whole arc of the movie would be him growing a conscience and caring about people around him, and he immediately cares about the people around him. And I was like, it's just solely that he's misunderstood.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Was there? I don't think there was anything else going on. This was just people with the blob attacking.
That's what it was. It was like the Gremlins. They had their small town moments, but they weren't nearly as built up in this one. But then the blob comes and they have a bigger problem.
Right.
It doesn't matter. That's why the deputy kind of like, not exactly taking his side, but at least hearing him out is the result of, we have bigger issues now. And that's right. Also, there's a certain amount of hometown pride to it. Like, yeah, you're an ass, but you're our ass, and these people aren't one of us.
The government
because we're
people?
in Texas.
Yeah, or not, because there was snow. They were preparing for a big snow. Big snow was coming.
Which would have helped earlier if it had come, because the Blob does not like the cold.
No. Imagine if he landed in winter. But that's what I was trying to figure out. That was one of the things that distracted me from the movie. I was trying to figure out where it took place.
Well, the sheriff and the waitress, they set up little meet cute. Well, I guess they knew each other, but she's like, oh, I get off at 11. She writes him a little note and he's all excited. And you're like, okay, this is pretty interesting. Then the movie makes the most interesting choice possible and kills the sheriff off screen.
Holy shit, that was incredible. She's trapped in a phone booth with the Blob, talk about claustrophobia, enveloping her, glass cracking, and she calls the police and like, oh, he went to the diner. And then his skeleton pops up in the Blob. I didn't even know who it was. I was like, wait, what?
It's pretty great.
That was awesome.
Yeah, we'll get to the practical effects when we get to their own section, but this movie's pretty great. 80s, unbeaten.
Oh, I'm so excited that seems to be coming back in movies. That's all the good stuff. Like, that holds up. You look at CGI, and you're like, meh, it's old now. But I look at that, and that movie was filmed like 100 years ago. And I'm like, I can't believe what they used to do back in these olden times before electricity.
Oh, Bryan and Meg run into the government team who are already on top of this, which, again, I don't think is that strange. Now, there is a reason that they're that prepared and are already there and already know what's happening, because as he points out in the clip we listened to, this is a man-made issue. They created a germ warfare that has gotten out of control. I never know when he's going to talk. He can't shut up the whole time. And then
Well, I was just wondering if the germs were just germs or they got exposed to alien germs while they were in space.
Are we sure that was a man-made thing? Because I know they were kind of...
I'm pretty sure he found out, like, before he even says that, I'm pretty sure he did find out in the movie that it was a biological weapon. And a good one.
Is it? There's no way to control it.
Yeah, cold. Except they don't know that.
No,
the scientists don't know
either.
that.
They kept trying to contain it in places.
Well, to be fair, maybe they also locked themselves in a freezer and then forgot about it, like Meg and Bryan do.
They shot an awful lot of bullets at it for some people that are allegedly studying it.
That is like the only flaw I have with this movie, is that they saw the answer and just forgot it.
They were under stress.
I'm sorry, I wouldn't forget it.
The only safe place is the cold.
Remember how the Blob didn't try to kill us that one time? Because we were in the cold? It would be the only thing I thought about.
My guess is that being from Texas.
Okay, say no more.
They're not used
Say no more. I understand. You're right. No flaw.
Moving on.
Meanwhile, the Blob attacks a movie theater, and it's awesome. And it's also, I know for a fact, an homage to the original film, because even though I've never seen it, the image of the Blob chasing after people fleeing the theater is like a famous, iconic horror image.
Maybe that's the one I'm thinking of.
That's from 1958's The Blob.
I've definitely seen that.
They pay homage to it here in a pretty fucking great scene.
They're all great scenes.
That ties in a character that I didn't even fucking knew existed until this moment. I know that there had to be a scene where they're at the house and she's with her little brother, but like this character is not important at all. So when she finds out her little brother's there, I'm like, who? You have to put him in the movie more.
They did.
I know he was in it, but you have to like give him a subplot.
It was he snuck into an R-rated movie with his
You have to give
friend.
him a subplot before that, so I at least know
they did right
that
at
I'm
the
supposed
beginning.
to care about him.
Right at the beginning. Jeez, and you call yourself a movie buff. Right at the beginning, the kid's sitting there with his friend. They're making up a story to sneak into it.
Again, I will say, I know that they showed him. I mean, they had to make him a bigger part of it for me to care that he's the one in danger.
How do I remember that if it wasn't a big part?
I don't know how your brain-damaged brain works.
Right, but it was big enough for me to remember. And I remember his friend, and it was tragic, Mark.
Well, that's the thing. No, it's the Blob.
His friend with the headphones on in the movie theater.
Yes.
Well, that's the part I liked, is that she saves her little brother, of course, because you're thinking, well, they're not going to kill kids, but then they kill his friend. So I was like, so they do kill kids.
They sure do.
So it wasn't a case of no killing kids. They kill everybody in this movie.
They saved him the first time because I was like, the lines are gone now. Like, we've killed the sheriff, we killed the waitress, we're killing off who I assumed was going to be like the core party for this movie. They're dropping like flies. So they save both the kids. Meg saves both children. So I said, okay, we draw the line at killing children for like a scene. And then we take care of that and cross that line.
Yeah, they go head to the sewer where luckily Bryan also goes to hide out with his motorcycle. It's a big sewer with very little sewage in it.
Was anybody else worried that the motorcycle wouldn't work?
No, because Bryan's on top of that shit.
Okay.
Literally.
Because it's a motorcycle, and that's how you ride it.
Yeah, well, they set up that he went and got the socket to fix it earlier.
Yeah, but I just saw him hit people with it. I never saw him actually repair the bike.
Well, her brother's friend is eaten in the sewer.
Oh.
And then Meadows and Bryan have their showdown we hear there. And Meadows has been hiding the info that Bryan discovered about the Blob and is ready to quarantine and, let's be honest, probably eradicate the entire city. Town. It's not really a city. And they managed to freeze the Blob because someone remembers.
But first, the government tried to put a car over a manhole and said, now they're trapped. That'll show that Blob.
Yeah.
It didn't work.
It's Texas.
That's right. They keep bringing. I guess it is Texas.
But they do manage to freeze the Blob, and Bryan and Meg then move to Quahog and live happily ever after. But the Reverend, who is collecting little pieces, is giving his sermon with his now fried two-faced look.
Except opposite.
Yeah.
The other half of his face is burned. Two-face, the left half is the bad face, and this guy's the right.
You know what's interesting with me? I know what the word opposite means.
But maybe you thought that his bottom half of his body was burned instead of the top half.
The bottom half of
Two-Face's
body is burned.
No, only the face part of his top half.
That makes sense because his name is Two-Face, but I'm pretty sure his hand is too. And
I don't remember. Guess we'll have to watch some Batman.
Maybe it depends on the version. I think the Aaron Eckhart version was just his face, maybe.
I think so.
You know what the worst part is? It was all filmed, so it's actually the reverse. Because cameras are mirrors, right? So it's actually the opposite side.
Cameras are no longer mirrored. They're mostly used mirrorless cameras.
Is that why you can see vampires now?
Yes, that's actually
That's why
you can see
Sinners.
vampires now.
That's why Sinners was finally able
Yeah,
to stop
Sinners
real
wasn't nearly as
vampires.
good of a movie until they used the mirrorless camera. But I like that you still think they use mirrors and cameras. It's
Why
fun.
wouldn't
It's fun that your technology's stuck in the 90s.
Look, when that projector room and the projector was up there in the movie theater of the Blob, I was like, "This is my people. This is what I used to do. I won't get eaten by no Blob. I can tell you that."
Okay. You'd be putting the manhole cover on it.
I'd run away. I'd be like that dog that the hobo had.
So the Reverend having his little pieces and basically praying to them, and that's his new god. It sets up a sequel that we never get because the movie didn't make any money, which is unfortunate because I liked The Blob 1988.
Maybe that's the one with Kevin.
I think that I thought about this after the fact because we did kind of mention like, oh, they're setting up Blob 2. Is that if it would have gone like Meg 2, where the Reverend comes with his Blob, and then they have to unfreeze their particles of Blob to help them fight the Reverend's Blob.
By the way, I like the mechanic at the end. He's like, "Oh, we better get this in the freezer before it defrosts," and he picks up all the pieces of Blob rock.
See, I think what he would have done is tried to create a human Blob hybrid, most likely played by Jack Black.
Jack Black and Nicolas Cage in the Blob 3.
It was like 10 years before Saving Silverman. Was that the big Jack Black breakout?
Was he in Saving Silverman? I don't even remember. No, I think High Fidelity.
He has
was
two
High Fidelity.
friends, right? Or I don't know if it was his first, but that's like the first movie I remember him in.
I think High Fidelity
Because
was
he's
the
one of Silverman's two friends. Sorry.
Yep, no. I remember, I think, Mr. Show.
He was definitely Mr. Show because he was a musician.
Right, and then he started, I can't remember where he popped up first, though, that I'm like, hey, that's that Mr. Show guy.
Yeah, I don't know either. I remember he was in little bit parts of non-comedies.
Yes.
He'd be like the guy in the van in Enemy of the State.
Oh,
We were like, why the fuck's Jack Black in this? And that happens a lot.
He belongs everywhere.
And he was the White Rasta guy in I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. I remember too. And I was like, what? This is a character that's beyond his usual terribleness.
By the way, casting such disparaging marks, Kitty's already planning on her Christmas movie for next year. And I think you know what it is.
Is it the fucking Dear Satan?
No.
Dear Santa?
It's Anacondas. It came out at Christmas.
It's not a Christmas.
It came out at
It's
Christmas.
not. It doesn't
It
matter when it
came
came out.
out
It doesn't
at
matter when it came out.
Christmas.
It doesn't matter. Vetoed.
Then is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
Yeah, it didn't come out at Christmas.
Came out in the summer. It doesn't. Then it doesn't matter.
No, it's content, not release date.
No release date. Dracula. It's a Christmas movie.
So yeah, Nosferatu was a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
To be fair, we haven't seen Anaconda yet, so it could be a Christmas movie.
It could.
I heard that it's terrible, but I also heard that Ice Cube and J-Lo play themselves in cameos, and I was like, that does sound
Oh,
good.
they do get J-Lo.
They did. I get her for a brief cameo at the
Wait.
end, but I read online.
It's in the Southern Hemisphere. Except
Maybe
for
like her,
Anacondas
honestly.
live.
I always liked her enough, but like it's like when people do that, I'm like, that's fun.
It's in the Southern Hemisphere and it's hot. And we've established that means it's
son
Christmas.
of a bitch. We don't know what's the Southern Hemisphere.
Where do anacondas live?
In movies.
Fuck, we don't know where that is. All right.
We don't even know where this movie was.
Is it Amazon rainforest? Maybe
I don't know what hemisphere that's in.
the southern.
Oh, Chris Hemisphere, the new Thor.
Good one. The old Thor.
The old no, that was Chris Hemsworth. Chris
Oh,
Hemisphere
I
is
see.
the new one.
I see.
They've upgraded.
Let's talk about the practical effects. This movie had A+ practical effects.
There's not a kill I liked more than the other kill. Like all kills were the highlight kills for this movie.
Absolutely fantastic kills.
Yeah, and the blob gets so big. It's so fun. It's so ridiculous.
The sheriff's body in the blob was the best one for me.
You think so?
Because it was surprising.
It was.
yeah,
It was
no.
a very surprising.
God,
My favorite was the guy getting pulled through the
that was cool.
sink. That was so 80s stupid that I loved it.
Any one of the bodies, what you just look at as a normal person, and then, like the date rapist was trying to put the moves on what turned out to just be a blob-filled sack of human flesh. Like, when their faces start contorting, I'm like, ooh, that's creepy. There's something about that that's really creepy for
That
some
sex
reason.
pest scene is straight out of the 50s. And not because of the sex pest, but just like the whole setup. They're at Lover's Lane.
Yep.
This is a 1950s. The 80s could not get away from how much they love the 50s because they're all written by guys
Yep.
who grew up in the 50s. So is that what's happening now? We're in the 2020s. Is everything like 90s set now or 90s feeling? It doesn't feel like it.
No, it definitely doesn't feel like that.
So there was just something weird about these 80s writers. But for some reason, that aesthetic just worked. That's why greasers show up in like all these movies. I mean, Kevin Dillon's basically a greaser. And
Wait, he wasn't?
that's what I mean. Like, these characters didn't exist in the 1980s. I was in the 1980s twice, in fact, so far, twice. And you never walked around and saw characters like Kevin Dillon's character, but they're in every 80s movie.
When we go back,
Yeah.
can I be a greaser and you be a soch?
Why do I have to be a Soch?
I'll be
Soches
the-
suck.
Do they? What about, were they the bad guys and the outsiders?
Yeah.
Oh. What about, oh. Yeah, why are the Socs always the bad guys? They seem like the
Because
upstanding.
they're squares, man.
But
Because counterculture's cool. That's
their-
why Superman's cool now, because he's kind, and that's counterculture.
The sweater vests.
I just explained Superman 2025 to him.
Nice.
I picked up a Superman All-Star Superman.
Yeah.
I picked that up yesterday.
By Grant Morrison and Frank
Yeah,
Lively.
I look forward to reading it.
He asked me for a Superman recommendation, and I was like, for ones that aren't depressing, like
I don't want sad
ones that will
stories,
feel
Mark.
more like Superman 2025. And I was like, he has to have read All-Star
Nope.
Superman. And then I stopped and I was like, did you read All-Star Superman? He goes, no. I was like, just get that then. It's like the best one of the last 25 years.
Apparently, though, I read the back of the book this morning. And
I
it
know
says
that the plot sounds sad, but it's
Yeah.
actually surprisingly.
Superman's dying.
Yeah, but it's how he chooses
Dies?
to live his last time that is just so uplifting and it's pure Superman. It's like the best, I think, characterization of Superman we've had. I think it's the one that most modern stuff is now based on.
He was a Soch.
He was a Soch, but now times have changed. We let the fucking greasers take charge, and
right.
they're assholes.
That's right. You can be the greaser. I'll be the Soch.
All
When we
right,
go back.
because in the 80s it was the opposite. So now
Not
I'm
me.
cool.
I'm going to teach them all about Reaganomics.
Wait, I have to be a Soch because the Soches all did the cocaine, and the greasers all hung out at the mall.
Oh, the mall. Dude, the mall is popping. They got 3 game stores in it now.
Why?
Because that's how much people like games.
There's the one I know. I pass by it every time I go to the movie theater.
Which one? Oh, Game Workshop?
Sure, it's the one where the nerds are always sitting there playing a game. I've never seen one customer. It's just like a rich person owns a place where they can store all of their games.
Yeah, that's Games Workshop. That's most gaming stores. And they're not rich. It's just somebody who's ran out of spaces to put stuff.
I didn't even know there was still a Games Workshop there.
It might not be Games Workshop anymore. It's Game something.
It's the one next to DSW Shoes when you're going into when I'm walking in to go to the movie theater.
Yep.
It's the only part of the mall I ever see.
Dude, you gotta
is
go.
DSW Shoes, this game store, and then the what's the
movie theater?
well, before the movie
Primark?
theater, you get the locked room experience.
Oh,
thing.
yeah, the 5 Wits or one of the escape room things.
Literally, the only thing I've seen in 15 years at the mall is that one small strip heading to the movie theater.
Directly underneath you, there's a Dubai chocolate place now.
I'm never going down there. I might go to the food court to try some of that bourbon chicken.
Bourbon chicken's still there.
Oh,
The-
no. Yeah. It's not.
No, not the
It's-
one you were talking about.
Oh.
There's a new place, and I did read pretty good reviews, and I was like, I know it's not gonna be the same, but I still want some mall bourbon chicken. So I might.
They
try
were
it.
out there handing out little pieces of chicken.
Is it
one day.
in the food court?
It was in the food court. Well, I don't know which place it was, but they were standing out there with a tray full of stuff, and I said, "Good to see you back."
And because no one should know the layout of the mall, the food court's not that far from the movie theater, so I could take a quick jaunt down there
Yeah,
to try some.
If you go on the first floor, you'll pass the new Barnes and Noble.
I'm not doing that either.
Where they have a Blockbuster video game, which is in the Blockbuster, the rental box. And I guess it's about movie trivia from Blockbuster times. And I didn't buy it. And now it's gone.
You heard of this thing called Amazon?
I don't do Amazon because fuck them.
All right. I'm just saying that if you wanted it, you could get it.
No. I've got to find it the right way. Did I order my Superman All-Stars online? No. I had to go find it somewhere. You know where I found it? At the mall. In one of those 3 stores.
It's one they keep reprinting because it's
Absolute Batman sold
one.
out. Can't find it anywhere.
Yeah, there'll be a new printing.
There's a
of it,
printing
though.
coming out in March.
Yeah, that Absolute line is wildly successful. It's doing what the Ultimate line did for Marvel, where it's just so much easier for people to jump into something new.
And it's fun from what I get.
I get it's fun, but it's darker. Like every character's distilled down to like their core essence because they don't have almost any of the key things from their history that you'd know. And look, this is the universe that was, oh my God, we're doing this. This is the movie universe that was made because they kind of had to reboot it with Darkseid energy. So it's all a little bit darker.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. But yes, practical effects.
People say Absolute Wonder Woman is the best one.
Really?
Well, Absolute Batman's the biggest one, obviously, and great. But Absolute Wonder Woman's winning like Eisner Awards and stuff because they think it's the
Wonder Woman and Batman are the two
best ones. Yeah.
that keep getting brought up. There were tons of Wonder Woman.
I
I
also
almost
heard
bought it.
that Absolute Martian Manhunter is excellent, and it's only going to be like 12 issues. There's only 6 out so far, but I've heard that one's because it's so wild.
That's the other one that's brought up. Is it good? Is it bad? There's a lot of debate.
I hear Absolute Flash is fine. I hear Absolute Superman's fine. I haven't heard anything about Absolute Green Lantern. But like Absolute Batman's really good, great. And Scott Snyder came back to write it, which was surprising to everybody because he did Batman for so long. So he said, I never thought I'd be back writing Batman, but this is just too good of an opportunity. I can do anything I want to. So like every other issue, you're getting like an introduction of the Joker with a whole new backstory and the introduction of Bane with a whole new backstory. So you can do anything you want to. It's kind of pretty cool.
Yeah.
And they're doing like huge. That and those
the trade paperbacks, the mini ones.
The manga size comics they're putting out. Yeah. Those are for $10. And they're huge. It's like put DC like back in the mix when Marvel was blowing them out, and Marvel decided, well, we got to copy that, but they put them out too big, and they charge $15. And it's like, no, people just want the pocket-sized Magnum ones, and then for $10, and they can't keep them on the shelves.
Yep.
So they just reprint Watchmen, they reprint, the Court of Owls, they reprint all the things that already sell, and they reprint All-Star Superman. You get it like that, and they just sell out immediately. It's brilliant.
Shrink them down, charge $10
for $10.
You know how much my All-Star Superman cost for the actual $35? I could have bought it for $10 because they have one of the.
Did you buy the Absolute edition?
Yeah. No, not the Absolute. The big one, whatever the big hardcover. Because Absolute now, I think of the Absolute line of comics, like Absolute Batman.
No, the bigger
Yeah.
ones are Absolute.
Yeah, okay. It was a big hardcover. But yeah, that's how much normal ones cost.
Did you watch the credits in this movie?
Well, Brian, I did watch these credits.
I see you have no notes. So.
No, you know why? Because the Bills lost. So what's the point?
Oh.
That's why I don't like this movie, too, by the way, because the Bills lost.
Yeah.
So this movie can jump. I watched the credits with Mark. There was no best boy. There were a bunch of other best boys. Animals were harmed in the making of this movie. I was going to go back and look for stuff, but why?
Why? That because they don't put no animal was harmed doesn't mean that animals were harmed.
No, it does mean they were
It doesn't mean that.
Well, then why wouldn't they put the label on it?
Because they didn't have the money to pay FEMA to come look at the fucking thing.
That means they killed animals. They don't have money to take care of the animals. That's why that dog never comes back, because they fucking killed it in the first scene. It like ran off and got hit by one of those army cars. And then they're like, well, we just won't bring that dog back. Can't recast. People got used to that one dog.
Do you think there's ever been an incident with an animal on set where then they had to argue with the people, the Humane Society, about whether or not it constituted in the making of the movie? Like, if they're not shooting and the dog runs into the street, are they like, wait a minute, that has nothing to do with the scene, it has nothing to do with us?
I have to imagine, right?
Yeah, because we don't know. You'd have to imagine. That's how the answer to the question would work.
All right, yep, it's happened before. I just imagined it. It was quite the lawsuit.
Basically, with the Blob, my thoughts on it were, I love the 80s aesthetics. Everything's just like well lit, overlit, but in dark spaces. It's one of my favorite ways movies look. And people kind of make fun of the way 80s and 90s movies are shot because they don't look clean. But that's what I like about them so much, is that every corner's dark, but the things I need to see are well lit. And I think it makes for a really good viewing experience, especially in a movie like this where there's a giant pink blob killing people.
I'll agree with that. I enjoy not having to cover up every source of light in my house to watch a movie, because if something's too black,
That's how things look back then, yes. Because drive-ins were such big deals. Like this would have been, it didn't make a lot of money, but you'd think it would be a big drive-in movie. And this movie would look great in a drive-in because it's all darkness surrounded by the thing you need to see.
Yep.
That's how you're supposed to shoot movies, I think. But, I guess I should give this one a break for having too much of a 50s feel because it is a remake of a 50s movie. So they probably are retaining some of the charm of that one. I'm never going to watch it.
The Blob?
Yeah.
The original?
Yeah.
Oh, I probably will try to figure out if that's the movie I've seen or not.
They'll never figure this out. Like the timeline you gave me, I think you watched the 1958 one.
It was before 91.
Yeah, that's why I think it was the 1958.
But this came out in 80-something.
88.
That's before 91.
But it gives you a very small window.
Yeah?
And I don't think this was the one you saw.
All right. Well, you and my mom both seem to think this.
What does Kitty weigh in on this?
I don't think she cares.
Ah.
She also didn't watch it, which is surprising. I think she really would have liked all the...
Did your kids watch it?
No.
I thought they could have gotten through this one.
Sam went out of his way because Mark was coming over. Like he had been... Were you here the night before we watched it or something? Like relatively recent. You would come by. And we're going to watch this movie. And Sam asked about it. And I'm like, it's a giant blob that eats people. He's like, oh, I'm going to watch that with you guys.
Yeah, and I told you I think he could have handled it because there's no nudity, there's no sex. It's just cool people. There's some cool effects and some gore.
And he's seen that. And he's seen nudity. And he's seen sex.
Because I was surprised it was just rated R. And then I had to look up what it was rated R for because I don't remember anything
What
being
was it
that
rated R
objectionable.
for?
I guess just because the gore was too good.
Oh, that gore was good. And not in the gross over the top way. Like genuinely, oh, this is creepy. And I am disturbed now.
It was rated R for the graphic buying of condoms.
Oh, yeah.
But that's a good message.
I like that payoff, too, where the two guys are trying to buy condoms, and it turns out to be the father of... Like, the father is the pharmacist, Meg's father. Oh, that was good stuff. I'm not going to explain it. You should just watch that movie. It's funny.
It is a good movie. And what'd you think, Mark?
I enjoyed it quite a bit.
I try to pick fun ones when you're on, and I try to pick depressing ones when it's just me and Pete. Because I don't need three people being depressed.
Well, this was sad.
What was sad about it?
The Bills losing, Brian.
That's
Pay
not
attention.
in the movie.
Doesn't matter. It happened the same day I watched the movie.
Connected forever.
Right. Like I can't, they're inextricably linked together, and I cannot separate them.
Does Brian Flagg get into the cool guy club? Licking
he's got-
deputies, hopping.
No.
Sometimes you need somebody who can, you need greasers with hearts of gold that can jump over small ditches.
All right. But I'm comparing him, right? The one thing I do like that he had that motorbike. That was a very small ditch. Like he could have just walked it down and up the other side of the ravine.
It reminded
was
me
not that.
of Friday the 13th Part 2, where the cops running after Jason, and because of the movie being poorly made in a good way, he runs over the same little, like, tiny, I would say no bigger than this table, thing of water with a big rock in it. He runs past it twice, and it fells him both times. In the same chase sequence, he struggles with it twice, and I'm like, just step on the stone and go. But he cannot get it either time clean, and they just put both takes in there, and I love it. I love that movie.
All right. What was I say? You distracted me with your Friday. Because now all I'm thinking about is when Jason was teleporting all over the place to kill people.
Yeah, we did we did a watch along for Jason Takes Manhattan, which is the most egregious teleport Jason you'll get in the series. And there were some times where, I mean, I've seen the movie 100 times, but there were some times where I was dumbfounded by the choices. Like he's down the block chasing after somebody. The guy runs into a building, and then when he gets upstairs, Jason's upstairs and throws him out a window. And I was like, that is the most
You don't
ridiculous.
see what you see is him running from Jason on the street. You see him run into a building with Jason way, way behind him. Then, from the same exterior shot of the building, you see him come flying out an upstairs window.
This has been another example of Pete retelling my same story the exact same way.
Yours makes it sound like there was some break where he could have no. It's one scene. He runs into the building. I think you can see Jason in the street behind him still. And then he comes flying out the window.
Jason on street.
Jason on the street. He was standing there watching it.
Well, if no one else has anything on the Blob,
Special effects, good.
Oh, we wanted to play the Mrs. Kittner game.
Oh, yeah.
with,
There were a couple people in
I can
there.
look up the,
Meg's mother, I think, was one of them.
Yeah, she was one where 40 or 80.
okay, Meg's mother
What's her name?
is played by Sharon Spellman, who does not have a Wikipedia page.
She wasn't real. She was the same mom from Goonies and the Monster Squad.
No, that woman is someone else, and she has passed away.
She wasn't passed away in 1987. Don't listen to him, Mark. He says like this all the time. He talks like his internet has all the answers for him. But really.
Sharon Spellman has no listed... Oh, no, it is 1942.
No date of birth.
No date of death, so she's alive. 1942, so she was 86 years old. No, 46 years old.
I don't believed it.
She was 46.
I bought that in a heartbeat. 46? Yeah. Tough time back in the 80s.
Yeah. She looked like I would have pegged her for like a 50s, maybe 60s, just because her hair wasn't gray. But she had like the old lady haircut.
Who else? There was a secretary who had completely gray and white hair.
Yes,
but she had a young face.
Yes,
kind of.
I can't remember which character that was. Was she?
I think she was the sheriff's.
She might have been the sheriff's secretary or something like that.
Maybe. I don't know.
I'm not going to find that one.
No. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
I can't believe that was not Matt Dillon. I was wondering.
Before we even started, he told me Matt Dillon was in the movie.
Billy Beck is credited as the Can Man.
Billy Beck.
Which I'm assuming is the bum.
It was.
But can I ask, if the Candy Man can the Can Man candy?
Ooh.
Yes.
All right. Now we know. Does anybody else have anything else on the Blob?
I had to think about candy floss. That's what it was called. What's that stuff that you buy at the fair and it goes on the stick? You put the stick over the machine and it fills up with candy floss.
Isn't it just cotton candy?
Cotton candy.
I think it's called diabetes.
Diabetes.
It magically appears on the stick, just that sweet, sweet diabetes.
Yep.
You hold it over. Oh, so good. I went through a long period of my life where I did not eat cotton candy. And then I had children. And now I'm force-fed cotton candy almost everywhere I go. Cotton candy's all right for a while.
Yeah.
Did you ever see that raccoon who was trying to, how raccoons wash their food?
Is this your way of telling me you don't have anything else on the Blob?
I have lots of stuff on the Blob.
Okay, then let's talk about the Blob.
Does the Blob dissolve in water?
No, because it went through the sewers in the sink.
Yeah. I don't know if I believe that. That's the part that I find unrealistic about this movie.
Cold water, maybe.
It should have froze him up. Why did he turn it into space rocks?
Diabetes.
He needed to be warmed up to be able to break out of his shell.
Was the preacher a good guy or a bad guy? Like at the beginning? Because he seemed kind of...
Well, he's a man of God, so
I know. I hated
bad
him.
guy.
I hated him initially. Like,
He turned into an agent of chaos pretty quick.
Did he? I stopped listening, A, because he was a God guy, and I tend to like fade out when those are on screen. And two, I don't remember because there was a lot of talking. I just wanted the Blob to eat people, man. That's all I wanted.
He did.
He did.
She did?
It
did?
It did. Who else did it kill? It killed the guy who came in to look at the projectionist. It killed all those people in the movie theater. Mm-hmm. Killed a bunch of soldiers and stuff out in the streets.
Mm-hmm. Soldiers on the streets.
So it's not all bad.
Did the colonel die?
I'm sure he did.
Colonel Sanders?
Well, there was
no, she means Dr. Meadows.
Oh.
No, there was a colonel along with Dr. Meadows. Dr. Meadows died. I know that, but I think there was a colonel who finally is like, remember, he's like, oh, we're in charge now, and they go shoot down the manhole cover with guns. Like, that was, and then they walked away all proud of themselves.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Because it was really, didn't make sense.
Yeah, like four of them just stood there shooting down into the hole, and they're like, well, we're done here. And they high-fived, and then the whole street blew up. Mm. Now I'm done talking about the
Was
plot.
this actually a prequel to Ghostbusters 2?
Came out the year before, I think. 2 years before.
Wait, it came out before Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters was 1984. Ghostbusters 2 was 1990.
Right,
This was
so
1988.
I think it is. This was the sequel. I believe that Ghostbusters 2 started off as a Blob 3 script.
Okay. Because the Blob goes into the sewers and becomes the pink slime.
And where does the pink slime end up in Ghostbusters 2? Tell me that's not a through line.
Well, it ends up in the Statue of Liberty.
And it walks. Then it turns good. It's the redemption arc of the Blob. See, when he killed that one sex pest, that was where he first started to get that urge to do good. Like, he knew he was meant for evil. He was bred for evil. That's what he was created in the lab for. And he did. He was just following his instincts. But when he killed that sex pest, he started to think, like, maybe I can use my powers for good. Maybe I can make this giant statue of a lady walk to a song and bring good vibes to the people. And he does. Is there a Ghostbusters 3?
Well, yeah, and 4, I guess.
Does
They've
the
not
Blob
called
come
that.
back?
Sort of. No, I don't think so.
No, the humor doesn't come back either. Sorry, Finn Wolfhard.
Oh, I saw that one and I don't remember anything about the movie.
I like the movie fine. It just isn't Ghostbusters. It's weird choices about...
Wasn't Paul Rudd in that too?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
He should have been in the Blob remake.
There is no Blob remake?
There is.
And maybe he will be.
I thought the girl who played Egon's granddaughter was pretty good.
Yep.
Annie Potts?
Yep, his granddaughter, Annie Potts.
No, that was the secretary.
She's in a lot of horror stuff. She was in The House on Haunted Hill.
She was in Ghostbusters.
She was in
1.
the worst movie I've ever seen, Five Nights at Freddy's 2. That fucking movie.
I gotta watch.
Mark, did you hear our Gremlins watch along? We'll give you a shout out in that.
I did, yeah.
Did you enjoy your shout out in the middle of that one?
Yeah.
Where there's something about your street address. I was like, your number is 81. And Kitty's like, don't tell anybody. He's like, tell who? I was like, yeah, Mark already. Mark's the only one listening. Mark knows who. He's like, yeah, it is 81.
You don't come over here, Mark. I don't want you being a creepy stalker hanging out in my backyard with all those people who masturbate.
Oh, that's an old one.
Yeah, they're still out there, and it's cold.
Cold out there every day.
Right. Now they're kind of like
Well, it's taking
stuck,
a lot longer now because it's so cold.
but they're also frozen.
Like the Blob.
Yeah. it's from their cum. It goes from their dicks to the ground in like a frozen. Like, they're all stuck out there waving.
Anybody
It's
else
gross.
have anything on the Blob?
No, but I do have Nicolas Cage news.
We did Nicolas Cage to start this podcast.
No, that was just you bringing them up. I have to bring them up, Brian. I have good ones.
Did he have those notes the whole time?
Oh, there. I saw a thing for a.
No, it's the Blob.
I saw.
Rule of 3, motherfucker.
No, that's a blurb. No, that's a blog. There's lots of things he could do. Anyway, there was a Nicolas Cage night at the museum, which I thought sounded really interesting. Like, what are you going to have? Then
Dinosaur skull.
No, I looked at it, and it was just somebody talking about Nicolas Cage being in the Night at the Museum franchise. So it was Nicolas Cage Night at the Museum.
Which he's not.
No, but what if he was? And this page had all sorts of ideas, like who he could play, and
I'm starting to see this for what it is. It's just a mental illness.
I'm assuming this is a thing he started because I can't imagine there's another person. Who
No,
was
I think
like,
there's
what
a
if
mental
they-
illness.
beat in St. Louis. There is I don't know what they do, Airbnb or Verbo, whatever, but it is a house of all Nicolas Cage. Shower curtains, pillows, the walls. Outside of the house has murals painted on it. You can stay there at the Nicolas Cage house in St. Louis. It's not his house. It's just somebody made a house of Nicolas Cage. That's almost the Night at the Museum with Nicolas Cage. And that was my knick-knack news. Not
That's a
even
knick-knack fact. That's
No,
knick-knack news.
That's
That's not
knick-knack
even-
news.
There's no such
That
thing
is
as knick-knack news.
Cage quiz, hotshot.
St. Louis.
Point to Brian.
Oh, he's got
The student,
2,000 points more than you.
I got 1,201 points more than you, and I didn't even play.
You're not allowed to. You had all the answers written down. That's cheating.
He's got all the answers there on that card.
Yeah, you do. You son of a bitch.
If no one else has anything on the Blob or any other distractions,
I'm trying desperately. I feel like I had a lot to say about the Blob. Then the goddamn Bills lost. The Blob was pink.
There was a phone booth.
There was a phone booth.
That was a cool scene.
was Colin Farrell in there?
He was in the Blob outside. That wasn't the sheriff. That was Colin Farrell who popped up.
He was in his penguin makeup.
Yes, I haven't seen that yet. I'm the penguin, see?
See the Batman?
You've seen the Batman, so you know that's not what he sounds like.
That's not what he sounded like? I saw the Batman a long time ago, Mark. You got to understand. And also, I watched it in like 6 different attempts to view it.
It was long. I think I watched the yeah. We're good.
Tell me more about things you watched. I've been watching Gravity Falls.
I was just going to mention it took me like eight tries to watch the Snyder Cut.
I haven't finished.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
And the Joker's scary in that one. You don't think Jared Leto is scary?
Not really. Maybe creepy.
I think his recent box office returns are.
Look, he can't read so good.
Again, I watched Tron Ares. I regret it.
What did you watch? Oh, wow. That's rough, man. I'm sorry. I almost put it on because you said you watched it. I saw it pop up, and you said it was bad. I was like, how bad could it be, though? I watched The Blob.
Not worth the time.
If no one else has anything on the Blob,
When I was trying to look up information on The Blob, I kept getting blobfish. So I know a lot about blobfish if anyone wants to know about that.
Maybe for the next one.
Okay. I'll save that. I'll get rid of Nick Cage news and just do blobfish news. Boy, this show has gone off the rails. All right, I'm in charge now, Megatron.
Yeah,
was
that never works out for Starscream.
Yeah, but he's cool. He was always the best.
is he in the Cool Guy Club?
Oh, yeah, back to the cool. Now, see, the Cool Guy Club, it's got the cool guy from Train to Busan. You saw that one, right?
He's a cool guy.
Yeah, he's super cool. He started all this. Then I got the guy from Black Christmas who wears the big furry jacket and he's a hockey player, and he solves all the crimes and shit because he's awesome. I feel like there was somebody else in my Cool Guy Club. But does Matt Dillon make it?
Kevin Dillon.
No, fuck Kevin Dillon. He's out. Matt Dillon, Matt Damon, is he in?
Rick Flag. Brian Flag. Rick Flag's father.
Wait, wasn't they from the DC movies as well?
Rick Flag is from DC. Yes.
That's right. What about Black Flag?
Then he also has Rick Flag also has a Rick Flag father / son, or however which way it goes. There's two Rick Flags.
It's too many Ricks.
Yeah.
Is there a Pickle Rick?
There's two different.
Jared Leto.
No, the Samuel Jackson character from Marvel. I'm blanking on it.
Fury.
Yeah, there's two different Furies.
What?
One looks more like David Hasselhoff.
Oh, that's right. That's right. And then they changed it in the comics, I think, in that Ultimate Universe thing. So anyway, the Blob was a big pink thing. I wonder if it came from space in the first movie. Or if it was just a government. I bet you that was the big twist in this new movie. The remake was, it's not from space, it's a government.
It was 1950, so it was before we were in space, right?
I hear we haven't been to space at all, and that they did that on a soundstage.
I watched a movie where they set it up to do it on a soundstage, but then they did it on the moon, and the government was like, "Oh, we got to show the soundstage one in case something goes wrong." But then the people were like, "Haha, we'll trick them and actually show the real one," and that's what happened. Oh. So they did fake it, but they also did it. And
see, I heard something similar to that, but they built the soundstage on the moon, and then they filmed it on the moon on the soundstage.
Oh, that was because was it Stanley Kubrick wanted to do it on site?
Yeah, he was like that. He always made his movies like in situ.
I think we're breaking him.
He stopped listening a long time ago. So that about begins this new episode of the Blob. So what did you think of the movie, Mark?
It's pretty good.
That was a pretty good beginning. A synopsis that Bryan gave us. Now we can discuss the heart of this movie. The Blob doesn't have a heart. Well, actually, he has like 20 hearts of all the people he ate. Did they say that the dinosaurs got eaten by the Blob?
They infer it.
But this is
a possibility.
Yeah, but it's a man-made thing. So unless we were making it and sending it back in time,
or this perhaps the thing was from space, and then they were experimenting on it on Earth.
Well, he was Ben Grimm when he went into space. When he was the thing when he came home.
Rock monster,
rock lobster. And the Blob was a Marvel guy. We're all back to the beginning.
Everything comes full circle.
Of life.
If anybody has anything else on the Blob.
No, I guess I'm all done.
Then I'd ask that you indulge me while I take a brief detour into a non-podcast related topic.
Doesn't feel right.
That means shut the fuck up. We're recording this on Sunday morning, the day after the Bills-Broncos game. And I have a couple things that I would like to say about it, if you don't mind. And I'm not going to talk about the Cooks play that they called an interception. It's just not worth doing. Or that they let pass interference go one way in the end zone that would have ended the game, but then called 2 pass interferences the other way that ended the game the other way. Or any of that, because we got to move on. There's nothing you can do about it. Did we get fucked? Of course we got fucked. We're Buffalo. We're a small mid-major market in a major league sports league. The only reason we exist in it is to get fucked, and we understand that. He had 2 feet down. He pulls the ball to his chest. He has a knee down. He's on his back. He's contacted. But it doesn't matter. As with any controversial call, though, I'd say, would this happen to Kansas City? And if you think it would, I'd ask you to look back at last year's AFC Championship game and see what they call the catch for Xavier Worthy. I can't remember who they played. It feels related in some way. If anybody doesn't remember, Xavier Worthy had one hand on top of a ball that hits the ground, while the defender, I think he played for the Bills, had 2 hands around the ball. They called that a reception for the Chiefs. Not an interception, the only thing it could have been, or incomplete because it hits the ground. They called that a reception. But there's no point in talking about it. The game's over. And anyway, the football gods, they took care of it pretty swiftly anyway, because Bo Nix broke his ankle, and for all their fucking trouble the league had of screwing Buffalo over to get what I can only assume was a hope for Bo Nix Drake May showdown of the next generation of young quarterbacks. Now they get Jared Stidham in one of the 3 highest rated games in sports this year, one of the biggest, most important games of the year for their league. Jared Stidham. That is the epitome of fuck around and find out. That's exactly what they deserve. And you've heard the phrase, ball don't lie. Well, this was lie about the ball, God will break your fucking ankle. But I'm not going to bother talking about any of that because what would it matter? Why bother pointing out that Denver scored 2 touchdowns immediately when they targeted injury replacements on the Bills defense? And when the literal defensive player of the year went out for them, our offensive coordinator called runs up the middle and a short pass over the middle. No point bringing it up. Makes no difference, and I won't even waste oxygen bringing it up. Because I'm a forward thinker, and I don't dwell on things that I cannot change. I focus my energy on things that need to change going forward. Because that's where we're going, no matter what happened. Like the Denver was the most penalized team in the league and took 0 penalties in 5 quarters during live play. Not worth talking about. What's the difference? Can't change it now. But there are some things that can change and prevent us from being here for a 7th year in a row next year. And I'm going to start with Sean McDermott. Yes, captain claps a lot. Yeah. In the defense that can never stop anyone. And I know you probably thought, well, he's going to start with Brandon Beane. But I'm going to start with McDermott because Beane is a much easier conversation. And McDermott's a bit more difficult, namely because I am not a fool and I know that he's not getting fired. But he should. And I said after last season that the worst case scenario was not only retaining Sean McDermott as coach, but wasting the assets trying to, quote, fix his defense, unquote. They spent every pick and penny they could committing to doing exactly that, and here we are, sitting at home after giving up 33 points to Bo Nix, who, to be fair, at the time had 2 legs. The reason I didn't want to invest in McDermott's defense is that I figured out the truth a long time ago, that it's not a personnel issue, it's a philosophical one. McDermott loves his undersized players and his soft zone defenses, and mostly, he loves character. Oh, how he loves high character guys. What's wrong with that, you might ask? Don't we love to read stories on draft day about how their 2nd-round pick overcame his grandmother's death and their 5th-round pick was captain of a school you aren't sure was Division I? The Chiefs and Eagles, they don't care about character. They just keep taking the asshole sliding down the board because he's an asshole, and then they win championships because they have more talent than the undersized scholastic All-American who took the handicap girl to prom. Sure, they get suspended all the time, but they're always there when it matters. And did you ever ask yourself why the Bills coordinators are among the least qualified in the league? Because that doesn't make sense, right? With Josh Allen in his prime always near the top of Super Bowl odds, any coach would kill for a spot on the staff. But we have Joe Brady and Bobby Babich. Well, I could tell you why. Why Leslie Frazier was run out of town and why Brian Dable would have been had he not gotten a head coaching job. It's because Sean McDermott is a bitch. Yes, a little bitch. He can't stand up to being challenged, so he surrounds himself with yes men and people who don't know any better. No other egos allowed in his room. And if you don't believe that, riddle me this. Do you really believe that Brandon Beane paid Stephon Diggs a giant contract extension only to trade him before it kicked in? to eat all that dead cat money and have to relegate the wide receiver room to the least talent in the league, even if he hates receivers, which he does? Or do you think that it's maybe the guy in the room having to deal with the ego that wanted him out of there? Because why would Brandon Beane, in a Super Bowl window, destroy his own wide receiver room because of a head case in a room he's not even in? That doesn't make much sense. No, the very small man who believes he is a very strong man can't handle any egos in his room. Nothing challenging today. It's not like McDermott isn't the highest ranking guy who isn't the owner in the entire organization. He got Beane the job. And the clueless owner has made basically one somewhat successful decision, success relative to Buffalo, of course, in his entire time owning 2 major franchises in the area. And that's McDermott. So we know he isn't getting fired. Which brings us to Brandon Beane. Because Brandon Beane can be fired, and Brandon Beane should be fired, and Brandon Beane needs to be fired. Brandon Beane once said, after his defense had blown every Josh Allen playoff lead to end their season, that your last loss tells you what you need to fix. This will be important to remember. 2 seasons ago, the Bills made it to the divisional round, as they always do. They played the Chiefs, as they almost always do. And McDermott's defense actually got the stop they needed that day, and the final drive was in Josh Allen's hands, needing a field goal to tie the game. Came down to needing 1 play from a pass catcher to keep the season alive. He hit Stephon Diggs in the hands, and he dropped the ball. Season over. But finally happened. I was almost happy because our last loss would tell Brandon Beane what we needed. Wide receiver upgrades. Someone to make a play down the field. Instead, he traded Diggs away and decided to replace him with a rookie second-round pick who was terrible at football. Beane moved back twice in that draft, letting 3 other teams pick wide receiver before him, and took a big, slow player named Keon Coleman who never gets open. Coleman, everyone who follows football will tell you, is best served playing in the slot. Unfortunately, Brandon Beane never filled out any other part of the wide receiver room, and only had 1 good receiver, Khalil Shakir, playing in the slot, and his only dangerous tight end, Dalton Kincaid, also plays in the slot. So Coleman plays outside where he is a big, slow player who never gets open. But always remember how much fun we had when he showed up with his puffy yellow coat and took all those Wegmans cookies, right? Oh, what fun we had. What a character. Unfortunately, the game started and he was so shit he eventually stopped getting a jersey on a team with no wide receivers. Also, Gabe Davis, who spent years needing to be upgraded on, left in free agency, and they replaced him with the corpse of Amari Cooper at the deadline when they finally realized they couldn't throw the football. So their loss didn't tell Brandon Beane anything that year. A year that ended in the AFC Championship game despite all logic and reason. The Bills played, of course, the Chiefs, skipping over the Xavier Worthy bullshit and the obvious first down run by Allen marked correctly by the ref staring at the ball and moved back by the one behind him. The Bills defense once again got a stop and gave the ball to Josh Allen with a chance to win the game. Came down to needing 1 play from a pass catcher to keep the season alive. He hit Dalton Kincaid in the hands, and he dropped the ball. Season over. But maybe, just maybe, when Brandon Beane said your last loss tells you what you need to fix, he meant your last 2 losses. Since they both ended the same. He did not. After the league gave Josh Allen an MVP award, in large part because they couldn't ignore how much he managed to win with no fucking weapons, Beane ignored the position nearly altogether. He didn't draft a wide receiver until round 7, and he would be injured and off the roster by training camp. But of course, there's more. It's fitting in a way that the season ends with me ranting about Brandon Beane because it began with Brandon Beane ranting about wide receivers. For anyone who doesn't know, I will set the stage very quickly. After deciding to go almost all defense in the draft, Brandon Beane called into the local radio station for his annual post-draft segment. Before his segment, he waited on the line and he listened to the hosts discuss the Bills' wide receiver room. To be clear for posterity, the segment posed the question, does Brandon Beane value wide receiver less than the rest of the league? I will now play a short clip from what transpired next as Beane is greeted by the hosts and asked how his weekend went.
I was just listening to the last few minutes of your show before I came on, waiting on here.
All right.
Sounds like 2018 all over with you guys.
Well, how so?
Well, you guys were bitching in 2018 about Josh Allen. You guys wanted Josh Rosen, and now you guys are bitching that we don't have a receiver. I don't get it. Like, we just hold on, let me talk. We just scored 30 points in a row for 8 straight games. A year ago, I get you guys asking why we didn't have receivers, but I don't understand it now. You just saw us lead the league in points when you add all the postseason. No one scored more points than the Buffalo Bills, including the Super Bowl champions. So you just saw us do it without Stephon Diggs, same group. How is this group not better than last year's group?
Oh, we'll find out the answer to that. That goes on far longer, of course, but you get the gist. He'd go on to say that bitching about wide receiver is one of the dumbest arguments he's heard. The next day, he'd take a victory lap on national programs, yucking it up with Pat McAfee and the like about how he burned those nerds and how brilliant he is. Publicly, loudly, arrogantly wrong. To understand how wrong he is, we need to back up a little bit. The question was, does Brandon Beane value wide receiver less than the rest of the league? That is the only thing that set him off. But it's pretty much indisputable that he does. He's drafted one wide receiver on day 1 or 2 of the draft in the 8 years since selecting Josh Allen. 1. Keon Coleman. He's taken 8 rotational defensive linemen to continue to be unable to stop the run and giving up 33 points to Bo Nix in the same span in the first 2 days of the draft, which is round 1 through 3. But in his rant, he accidentally gives away that the answer to the question is yes. He says, "No one is more surprised than me that we didn't take a wide receiver until round 7. Does he want to know why? Because I can tell him why. I can tell him why every single time he comes up to draft, he doesn't see the value in the position of what's left on the board. Why guys he has rated with a grade in the round are magically never there. It's because the league values wide receiver more than Brandon Beane. Even when he left himself no choice but to draft a wide receiver, he moved back twice because he couldn't find the value. He had to pick up an extra high pick to take another rotational defensive tackle. By the way, both that defensive tackle, Dwayne Carter, and Keon Coleman would get injured as rookies and struggle big time after returning. Carter watched them draft the defensive tackle in rounds 2 and 4 and signed 2 more defensive tackles in free agency. Keon Coleman went unchallenged and somehow lost his job anyway. Beane did bring in one veteran wide receiver before the draft. He bragged about it on the Pat McAfee show, acting like people forgot he signed the great Joshua Palmer. Said he didn't pay him $11 million because he thinks he's average, paid him because he thinks he's good, and that time will tell if he's wrong. Well, after averaging about 2 catches per game and scoring 0 touchdowns this year, he was right about one thing. He isn't average. Beane would sign Elijah Moore the day after that rant, and he'd be released partway through the year. He'd sign Gabe Davis back, proving that things had gotten so bad that a player they needed to upgrade on for years was now seen as help for the room. He did nothing. They signed McCole Hardman and Brandon Cooks, and the entire year was a scramble to find anyone who could ever get open. Beane was very angry post-deadline as he failed to address the issue again. It's other GM's faults, he said. They act like they're making trades in Madden and not in reality. But Brandon Beane doesn't operate in reality. He operates in a world where wide receivers aren't worth what the rest of the league values them at, which is why the deadline passed without any help from the GM. But the most damning thing about Beane's post-draft temper tantrum was something we heard in that clip. Didn't you see what we just did last year? Yes, we saw. Let's go over a couple of the reasons why the Bills' offense was so good last year. Number 1, James Cook ran for 16 touchdowns and only 1,000 yards rushing. Number 2, the Bills' defense, despite struggling to get pressure as it always does, finished near the top of the league in turnovers. And number 3, when you take into account sacks, interceptions, and fumbles, Josh Allen had the best season in modern NFL history for avoiding negative plays. Which of those 3 unrepeatable things did Brandon Beane expect to happen again? All of them? Because any moron with a basic understanding of football could have told him that every single one would regress. And guess what happened? Every single one regressed. Now, I don't know if Brandon Beane will get fired, but I know that he should be, and I know that he needs to be. And I know that Coach Clapping Coward has indicated his unhappiness with the wide receiver situation as if he is some clueless bystander with no power over anything, as his defense gets more and more reinforcements and the offense is slowly stripped of egos and talent to match his desire for a safer small ball control offense. But this is what McDermott does. He blames someone else. And this time, it might just be pointed at a worthwhile casualty, because Brandon Beane is a narcissistic egomaniac. The only real ego left in the organization. And Captain Clapsy does not like egos. And he always finds someone to blame. Yesterday, for the 3rd year in a row, the Bills' defense got that stop they needed and put the ball in Josh Allen's hands with a chance to win the game. Came down to needing one play from a pass catcher to keep the season alive. He hit Brandon Cooks in the hands, and, well, it's not really worth talking about, because it won't change anything. Season over. But now we have 3 last losses to tell them what needs to be fixed, and I have bad news for Brandon Beane. What needs to be fixed is the general manager's inability to build a wide receiver room, his inability to understand the value of the position, and his inability to understand regression or luck or any basic concept that a GM will learn as an intern. We know what needs to be fixed, Brandon, and it's finding someone new who will fix it.
No notes.
So you didn't like the Blob either?
I liked when he killed the rapist.
Well, yeah, that was good, but all that Bill stuff really ruined it for me.
Well, I could get past it pretty quick because I expected to lose at Jacksonville, so I was playing with house money at this point. And by get past it, I mean, you heard I just did for 10, 15 minutes. But I just, there are certain things about it that are non-negotiable. This can't be a business as usual offseason. We just wasted all of Josh Allen's 20s. they got Brandon Cooks here in November. They had to give him week 17 off or week 18 off because they were afraid he'd get hurt. And then Josh Allen tried to target him constantly because he's the only one that could get remotely open. It's so clear what needs to happen, and Brandon Beane shouldn't be allowed to do it because he's also bad at drafting wide receivers.
Yep.
Do you think the Blob would be a better wide receiver or like a lineman or something? If he could stop eating people.
I think you get a penalty for killing the people in front.
If he stopped eating people, I said. Like, if you could put him into a little suit and a helmet on him, and like wide receiver, you could put out like a pseudopod and catch the ball.
What's his 40 time?
You can just stretch.
What market is he playing?
Buffalo.
Nice fucked.
It's too cold for him.
It's too cold for him.
That would suck. Right. First time, like, November hits, and it turns into a big
November.
pile of
I've been to October games that are freezing.
Yeah. So when it's the end of August, and we're playing one of our preseason games, and it gets really cold, and he gets hit, he just turns into a big pile of moon rocks. That would be rough. Probably fumble the ball.
Go Sabres.
So what'd you think of the Blob?
I feel better now. That
Two
it's
of
on
us
my
didn't
chest.
like it.
I loved it.
Yeah, it was fun.
That's not the way I heard it after his big speech.
I think that was Brandon Beane, not the Blob.
It's a lot of bees.
There's a lot of bees. Big baller Bean.
Little bitch Bean.
Better hide that
Bitchin'
honey.
Bean.
Bitch boy Bean.
Yeah.
Let me just say this. If they do fire Brandon Beane, which it's Terry Pagula, so I doubt it. But if they do fire Brandon Beane, I almost guarantee you we just see Terrence Gray promoted because McDermott's not going to let an outside voice come in the room and then tell him, hey, there's problems down here too, because that's just what happened to Kevin Adams. And Terry Pagula wouldn't fire Kevin Adams. Yarmo got there within 3 months. He's like, this is the problem.
I will point out that the last time we fired a Bills GM was very closely in time to when we fired a Sabres GM.
That's true. And I think he's seen the results of firing the Sabres GM. So maybe that would be...
We fired the Sabres GM?
Yeah, like a month ago. And they all they've done since then has been like 16 out of
they've been
18
winning.
games
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, like we fired Doug Whaley, and then like 2 weeks later or something like that, when they fired Tim Murray. And
Yep.
yeah,
Brandon Beane got to go. He's got to be eaten by the Blob.
but
But it's winter, so it's not going to happen now.
We don't.
He's got to be invited down to Florida with Terry so he can get eaten by the Blob.
We have a very limited window that our savior, the Blob, can come and I don't know, elevate us beyond this mediocrity.
Yeah, there's like 3 weeks in July he'd like it here.
But he can come clean house. I'm going to start putting stuff down my toilet to try to lure him here.
What kind of stuff?
I don't know.
Is
How
it
did-
poop again?
I mean, that's what I've been doing so far.
is it sexual predators?
Maybe.
Ooh.
I don't know.
Get Ken over here.
Because that one guy at the diner just put his whole hand in the sink, and that got him eaten. But I wonder what was in there first to draw the Blob to that restaurant. Or was it just somebody's giant hand down there going, digga, 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 come and eat, digga, 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 digga. Also, that was a big drain. I can't.
Oh, next week we were supposed to do popcorn, but popcorn has disappeared from the world.
Which is good because I still don't know what that means. He keeps saying we're doing popcorn. We're
I can-
doing popcorn. He
I can
shouts.
buy it for $40 on Blu-ray, but I'm not going to do that. And it's disappeared from any streaming platform, which means it might pop up on YouTube when things get weird with rights. Sometimes people just upload stuff. So I'll look for it. But we're going to do something different because we have to put popcorn on hold. Popcorn's a movie from 1991. We're going to put it on hold.
Saying that.
And we're going to do Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Yeah.
Because we're still doing fun movies, God damn it.
Killer Clowns is a serious movie.
Okay. It's going to be interesting to hear you sell that one next week.
I've seen it. They had a dog that chased people made out of balloons.
They do clowning in that one. Unlike a Clown in a Cornfield, there's actual clowning going on.
That's right.
Why don't you save it for next week?
All right. Because I wonder if the Blob is going to make a special appearance because he's from space too.
Maybe.
Hey, there's some of that candy floss in Killer Clowns I was talking about.
I think they came out the same year. I think they're both 88 movies.
Ooh.
We should have just time traveled for this one.
Road trip.
Where we're going,
We're
we're going to need roads to get to where we're going.
You know
That's
who
going to have been the line.
Matt Damon didn't need roads.
Just need one more 1988 movie to be able to transfer it there.
Yeah, I know, but it's always hard. That third one's always the killer. It's always so hard. I don't want to tell you how long we had to wait to get back. You're not thinking about it.
I don't know what anything is.
All right. Thanks for joining us, Mark. You have anything to add on the Bills situation that nobody's going to care about?
I mean, you covered it pretty well. I would say that cleaning house would be great. I imagine pretty much what you said will happen is Bean maybe will be fired, but Sean McDermott will be retained.
the thing that I need the most, because I know they're not firing McDermott, so there's just like, I'm just going to let it go because it's not going to happen. I need someone to hire Joe Brady, and then I need them to bring in a veteran offensive coordinator who will not sit in the draft room in the cuck chair watching his offense get fucked. Because I need somebody with a voice to stand there and be like, hold on a second. You're taking a fourth straight defensive line. I need wide receivers. I need somebody with the power to do that. Because Joe Brady's just going to sit there like an idiot doing nothing.
I feel like ideally we'd get, like, if for some reason he doesn't get a head coaching job, Kevin Stefanski.
He just got one in Atlanta.
Oh, he did? I didn't hear that.
I would kill to have Mike McDaniel, but I think he's going to get a job because there's just so many openings.
Yeah, and people recognize that he's a good offensive mind.
Yeah.
And Miami was a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
With a terrible GM.
But if he doesn't get one, they should anything they can do, anything they can do to get him here because it'll work. And I'm back to, I know McDermott's not going, so I have no choice but to try to win around him, which is what I was trying to do for years. And it was just one wide receiver short. Now I'm two wide receivers short, and the offensive coordinator's a little bitch too. So I'm getting further away. I need someone to stand up and be like, no, we're going to try to score 70 because we need to, because you might give up 65, you idiot. Because that's what he does. He had 33 points to Bo Nix. Before I always rejected the idea that Allen had to win this year because Mahomes was out and Lamar was out and Burrow was out. And I was like, that doesn't make any sense because he's got the worst team around him he's had the entire time since he got good in 2020. It's by far the worst team. So he has to drag them even further, even though those quarterbacks couldn't drag their, well, it's not Burrow's fault, but even though the other two couldn't drag their team to the playoffs with better rosters, like fuck off for that, first of all.
The Ravens still had like 7 All-Pros.
Yeah, but then somebody did explain it to me once. A national guy said it in a way where I was like, okay, that actually makes sense. And he goes, here's why. Because Patrick Mahomes has sent you home 4 times. Joe Burrow sent you home once. But you don't get sent home by C.J. Stroud. You don't get sent home by Drake May. You don't get sent home by Bo Nix. Well, they got sent home by Bo Nix. Somebody has to pay for that. Somebody has to pay for that. And I know he turned the ball over 4 times. And I don't care. And I'll tell you why I don't care. Because he scored 30 points with Brandon Cooks and McCole Hardman. That's why I don't care. Because he tied the game. They went to overtime. They got fucked 3 times. Because one of those pass interferences has definitely happened. I don't care. But the Trey White one he's super mad about, he totally did that.
Yeah.
So the first one, though, was the exact same play they didn't call the other way that would have ended the game. So that's 1-2. And then that Cooks thing, I'm sorry. People can explain it to me however they want to. He's got the ball caught. He pulls it to his chest, which is a football move. Tucking the ball is a football move. He tucks it. He takes 2 steps. He goes down to a knee. And then they kept saying he has to survive the ground. He's tackled. He's not going to the ground. This isn't a case of he didn't establish possession, which he did, and then he's diving to the ground. Like, you have to keep possession. He's tackled. That's called a tackle. And the ball can't come out when you're tackled and you're down. That's 2 steps, a knee, a football move, and he's tackled. Fuck off. Fuck everyone who sees it differently because you're a fucking idiot. Good enough? All right.
But now we need, because of the rule of 3, we need another B. Because it's the Blob, the Bills, and what? Because that's what this episode's about. The 3 Bs. Bears.
No,
Blobs.
the Battlestar Galactica.
Bears, Blobs, Battlestar Galactica.
All right. The missing B.
All right. I'm going to wrap it up for my throat hurts from reading all that. I went to just last night write notes, like an outline. Oh, hit this. And I just couldn't stop writing it. And I was like, it was like 2 a.m. I was like, I guess I'm going to write this whole thing. And then I'm going to get up at 8.
That's what happened with my Blob notes.
I spent an hour writing that. And I didn't even get to it all, but I got it tight enough where I felt like I could get through it.
So I was right. It was a bad movie.
All right. Anybody got any last words? Not you. You've done for today. What happened today? Jesus Christ. Were you up all night with the kids eating sugar?
I was up this morning eating sugar.
He had his nephew and niece over, and so it was pretty wild times here last night, I'd imagine. But I think they were just feeding him pixie sticks all night because he's as wired as I've ever seen him.
We were doing lines of them because you spread them out and you cut them like pretend it's cocaine, and then we were playing Magic the Gathering.
I got to say, you're acting like me in 1986, and I don't care for it.
That's gimmick infringement.
It's all the Blob. It's the Blob's fault.
Do you know how much I got done in 1986? We couldn't take any of it with me, but I wrote novels. Wrote a whole screenplay right away.
It was crazy. It was
sold it too.
All over the walls of the apartment we had. Just written. Sometimes not even in human poop. He used an actual marker. It was incredible. Some good ideas there. Mostly about blobs.
Well, they're gone now.
Yes.
All right. We'll see you next week for Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Thankfully, no third K in that name.
That one gets me almost every time.
There's like an alternate reality that's called Crazy Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Crazy
It's
Killer.
just
I bet you that was the first title too.
all right. We'll see you next week for Killer Clowns from Outer Space, and then it'll be February. That's how. And then the Blob is not coming near me for a while. The Blob can't get around here till at least late May.
At least we've had snow in May.
I know, we've had snow in every month,
June,
but like August,
yeah.
I think.
I don't think we've had June, July, and August. I don't think we've had.
I remember.
I think there was
I remember
some in
snow in June.
There might have been,
for sure.
June 1, I think.
Yeah.
You're right.
I don't know that I remember it, but I remember reading it.
No, I think that's true because I remember when it fell. And I was like, we're down to 2 months that are snow free. It wasn't a big snow, but it was snow.
Yeah, legit snow fell.
I don't know how big it has to be in June to be annoying. I think it's
It's falling, and
Yeah.
that is annoying.
That's right.
all right. Thanks for joining us, Mark. Good time with the Blob.
Yep.
We'll pick something else fun for next time. Pete's shaking his head.
That Blob
I think
movie
it's like
sucked.
3 months before you have an open show, probably though.
Oh, I don't remember. I
remember
this,
Kitty was complaining about a lot of.
Award season.
That's all done. The awards are all done.
I didn't do my show.
Oh, it was the.
It's coming up. It's coming up.
It's the watch of the series. What was it? The David Lynch series.
Oh, We got Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Then we're doing Tales from the Crypt Demon Knight for Black History Month. Even though it doesn't sound like a Black History Month movie, it actually has a couple key things for actual Black history in film. The Foreign Correspondence Awards. We're doing Scream in February if you want to do Scream. Because we're just going to flat out cover the first movie, which is my favorite movie of all time. Because Scream 7 is going to be hitting theaters. And then we're into stuff for like the watch-alongs for our anniversary, another Friday 13th. No, I got you down in March already for Society too, because I want to do Society.
Oh, okay.
Watch that disappear from fucking everywhere
I
too.
don't know what that is.
It's another gooey one.
Ooh.
And yeah, you could hop into Scream in February if you want. You can pretty much do anything you want. Yeah, in May, in June, in early July, that Twin Peaks thing is going to last a while, and then we go to 1986. So there's going to be a stretch from the spooky season spectacular, or no, the top 10 with Ken maybe in late April, all the way through mid-September. That it's just like we're closed for business.
All right. Well, at least get
unless you
one,
can
maybe
get a
two.
partner and time travel back to 1986.
Well, that's because it's Blob season. We got to go into hiding here in Buffalo during the summer.
that's right. That's why.
Yeah,
That's 100%
That's
why.
the 2 months of the year that Blob hunts up here.
So we got to pre-record and then go into hiding.
All right, we got to shut this down so Pete can turn his heat back on because I hear Kitty ready to kill him upstairs.
That's right. And I got to go shopping.
We'll see you next week.